Hi there, Ashley Reeve here on QuickTrade. It's good to be with you guys. I'm not sure for an economic calendar update. I'm here to, give you a slightly different video. It's all about mistakes that traders make when coming into the trading industry. And I'm going to be sharing 3 mistakes. I've added an extra one there for you. But these are common mistakes that is gravitating towards a pivot point that many traders make around the world. And so this obviously comes through various ways. There's promotional ways. Technology ultimately promotes, or people use technology to promote how to do things in the market. And so a client coming into the specific industry will latch on to the strategy, to this approach, to that method, to that indicator, to that robot, to whatever approach is being promoted to them. The key words there: make money, get profits, don't blow your account. It intrigues and is appealing. And so what traders do is they then buy into that without understanding that there's more to it than just purchasing a get quick rich solution. Any person that is successful in any area, they will tell you that it took a bit of time. So here's 3 to 4 mistakes that traders make around the world. The first one, from a more foundational perspective, not practical or technical, in that, analyzing the charts, a support and resistance level, a trend line here, a pin bar there. All right, this is it's more foundational. It deals with your way of thinking, because after you think correctly, now you can put the proper steps in place. So the first mistake is that traders don't give themselves enough time to process information. When you get education, when you are in a class setting, there's a lecturer that will explain certain concepts to you. So if you're dealing with Forex as an example, you'll learn about leverage. You will hear about different lot sizes. You will hear about fundamentals as it relates to politics, to social logical factors, to economics. So all of this information gets given to you in the class setting, and you need to give yourself some time, your mind, to process this information. Remember, before you came into trading, or before you entered, and before you heard about it, you were doing something else. You were finding other ways. Maybe you have a job, maybe you have another business, and you were doing other things to make an income or to create an income for yourself. And now you get into trading. So let's say you were doing something else for 10 years before trading, and now you get into it, and now you expect that same result to come. But remember, you're only starting out. So you got to give your mind the time to build a report of what you are being taught. We are only but human at the end of the day. And so we process things over time. And so you can't expect to come in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then expect to make huge amounts of profits. That is a myth. Any successful trader will tell you it takes a bit of time for you to understand the principles, the market structure, the market cycle, all right, the pivot points on a monthly frame versus a weekly frame versus a daily frame. And then you go down further into the hourly frames and then even the minute frames. So you got to give yourself some time to process the movement of the price and even get into a couple of trades and feel it out. That's the first mistake. They don't give themselves enough time to process. The second mistake is that many traders come into it brand new, thinking they're going to pay big amount of bills, or at least their bills, in the first month of actually trading. If you don't understand how the price moves, and you're not understanding the cycles and the structures and the time frames and the different zones, you will not be able to apply the material, the content, in a practical way for you to make profits. So 1 and 2, or mistake 1 and mistake 2, they work together. Without understanding and giving yourself time to process, all right, you will not be able to generate profit. And if you're not generating profit, you won't be able to pay your bills. So you cannot come in with that mindset. Once I get in, I'm going to put in 5,000 or 10,000 Rand. And month 1, I'm going to be paying my car, that's example, 12,000 Rand. You have to eliminate that out of your mind, and you got to give yourself some time to process the data. Now, mistake number 1, process the information over time. Give yourself that time. Don't make the mistake of rushing the process. Number two, don't have the mindset that in month 1 or month 2, I'm going to pay the bills that I've been paying for the past 10 years in 1 month. Doesn't work that way. Mistake number 3, you have to be patient with yourself. And the mistake traders make around the world coming into the trading industry, they're not patient with themselves. You have a life, and you still have one, all right? And you had one before you came into trading. And so you have to learn to plug in this new element within your lifestyle. So what many traders do is they are impatient with themselves. And so they expect to see results in 3 weeks, in 1 month, after having a certain lifestyle for 15, 20 years. You have to give yourself some time and be patient with yourself so that you can process the information. Know that once you understand the information, you'll be competent now. And with competency, you learn how to bridge the gap to practicality. And once you can practically apply what you understand, automatically you begin to get your specific approach. Call it a strategy if you want, call it a method if you want, but you got to give yourself that time to develop that for yourself, because every trader trades differently. And so that's also then dependent on a schedule. That is the 4th mistake that many traders do not look out for. They don't take their schedule into consideration. There are some traders that are working a 9 to 5. Others are more flexible where they have extra time. And so your approach is going to be different to the market. Your risk management will depend on your schedule. The way you analyze the market technically is going to depend on your schedule. You reading your fundamentals, what's happening politically, what's happening economically, that is all synergized with the technicals. So you got to know when to look for what news, where to look for it, and how to interpret the data onto your charts. So mistake number 1, give yourself time, all right, to process. Don't make the mistake. Process the data, sit in the class, make your notes, and then go back, review, and ask questions about it so that you can get to competency number 1 and then practicality number 2. The second mistake is that traders come in and they expect to pay a bill that they've been paying for 15 years or 10 years in 1 month with trading. The third mistake is that many traders are not patient with themselves. They are only human. I'm human just like you. And so we have families, we have friend circles, we have other business, ventures that we are actually into. And so these also require a bit of you, a bit of your time. And so don't be impatient. Instead, be patient with yourself, that you have all of these things around your life and in your life that you need to focus on, and give yourself the time to work through it. And the last mistake there is that many traders do not consider their schedule. They are not aware that, if you're going to be trading the momentum time frames, the monthly time frames, the weekly and the dailies, and even the 12-hour, those time frames are for traders that do not have time during the day to look at the chart. So they will place a trade or put in a position, and they'll leave that position to run for 2 or 3 days, maybe 5 days. It all depends on how busy they are. And so that's their schedule. That's their time. So they got to craft their approach, all right, synergizing with that specific time. And the same goes for the guys that are more flexible, the guys that have a bit more time, that can afford to sit in front of the PC and look at the charts. Their strategy, their risk management, their approach, their method will be crafted, connected to that specific time. I really hope that this video helps you, and it gets you thinking about what mistakes you've made and what you can actually learn from them. Till the next time, I'll be coming through with a couple of more videos that is different from, updates on the economic calendar. But I really hope that this one really opened up your eyes and that you can start to look at yourself in a much deeper way as it relates to being a trader. Until next time, this is Reeve signing out.